You know, some cars feel like they are just ahead of their time. And for BMW, the i3 has always been one of those. When it first launched back in 2013, people did not really know what to make of it. It was quirky, futuristic, and honestly a little odd compared to the rest of BMW's lineup. But now in 2026, the i3 is coming back in a big way, and it is not just quirky anymore. It is bold, refined, and designed to compete at the top of the EV and hybrid game. The first thing you notice is the design. BMW has clearly gone all in on making the i3 stand out, but this time it is less about being funky and more about being sleek. It is wider, lower, and has this almost coupe-like stance while still keeping the upright city car proportions that made the original so practical. The signature kidney grills are still there, but they have been reshaped into a cleaner, slimmer outline, more for style than function, since this car breathes differently as a hybrid and electric. The lighting is sharp with futuristic LED strips that wrap around the edges. It feels modern, but not over the top, like BMW wanted this to be eye-catching without scaring away traditional drivers. Now here is the part that surprised me. The powertrain. BMW is not going fully electric with this i3. Instead, they have decided on a clever hybrid setup, which honestly might be the sweet spot right now. You get a solid electric range for daily driving, perfect for the city runs and short commutes, but then you also get a compact, fuel-efficient engine that kicks in for longer trips. So range anxiety is not a thing here. For people who are not ready to jump fully into EV life, this i3 gives you the best of both worlds. And BMW says the transitions between electric and gas are almost seamless. That is something they really had to get right, and from early impressions it seems like they nailed it. Step inside and you can see just how far BMW has refined the interior. The old i3 was kind of a love-it-or-hate-it situation with recycled materials and unusual layouts. It was eco-friendly, sure, but it sometimes felt too experimental. The 2026 i3 keeps that sustainable DNA with lots of renewable and recycled materials, but wraps it in a much more premium, modern feel. The dashboard has a clean, floating design with a massive curved display that blends your instrument cluster with the infotainment screen. BMW's new iDrive system is built in so everything feels smooth and responsive, but there are still a few physical buttons for essentials which I think a lot of drivers will appreciate. But stylish. It feels like a BMW first, eco-friendly second, and I think that is a good move. Pricing is always the big question, right? From what we know so far, BMW is positioning the i3 competitively. Expect it to start in the mid-40,000 range, which makes sense considering the tech, the hybrid versatility, and BMW's brand premium. Fully loaded versions will probably creep into the mid-50,000 or higher, but even then it sits in an interesting spot. It is more accessible than some of the bigger luxury EVs, but it feels far more premium than mainstream hybrids. And honestly, that is what excites me most. We are at this point in the car world where electrification does not have to mean compromise anymore. The 2026 BMW i3 shows that you can have style, efficiency, a bit of adventure, and everyday usability all in one package. It is not trying to be everything to everyone, but it is hitting this sweet balance that a lot of drivers are looking for in 2026.